What's up, guys? Welcome to A Reseller's Life. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's episode, I'm going to go over the 3 models that people use to make a full-time living reselling. I think this encompasses pretty much 99% of all stores. So if you guys enjoy this type of content, please smash the like button. I'll try to go over exactly what it takes to build these models so that you guys can build a store of your own. So let's get straight into it. Model number 1. This is the most difficult and the one that people like the least. This is replenishables. This is ordering an item directly from a company. And I go over my 10 by 10 by 10 rule. So as an example, these 6 packages for me are the same thing. I have the direct connection with the manufacturer, so I'm the only person allowed to sell this item. Now, I want to be more clear on this 10 by 10 by 10 concept. Obviously, items don't sell exactly 10 times a day, not for exactly $10 worth of profit. Items sell for different amounts of profit depending on what they are. Certain items are going to sell for less profit. I'll go over this little Chinese charm in just a moment that I sold for $25 on eBay. You can look at those keywords. Notice how this is not a brand name. This is just a lucky money god figure. So I'm using the keywords Chinese New Year, rare, 7-inch lucky old man charm. One of the reasons why I didn't pursue doing this is because of COVID. So obviously not the best time to be selling Chinese New Year stuff in China when they didn't even have it this year. So this is the concept of a replenishable in a sense that I can just reorder these when they sell out, right? So now the main difference between this item and the item in here is that the item in here, I'm the only one allowed to sell it and it's not gonna run out. This Chinese charm I just bought from a local distributor and it will run out. So I could reorder it, but then it's not going to be available once it's sold out. These, I'm the only person selling it and I can just keep reordering it and they can just keep remaking it when they run out. This right here is interesting because the person that makes this item is based in the United States. So I don't have to wait for a long lead time to reorder these. This is something new I'm trying. It does not sell 10 times a day and it does not make $10 profit. It makes about $8 profit. So again, this is just an example. 10 by 10 by 10 for $1,000 profit will give you executive level money. That's $350,000 a year you'll make if you actually pull that off. If you get just 3 of these items, you're going to be making a professional level income of 100K or more. I consider that what you would try to make if you get an MBA in something. And then finally, if you just have one, that's kind of like your just over broke job money. So if you just have one item that sells 10 times a day for $10 profit, that's $30,000 per year in profit, which is fantastic. And it sounds easy, but it's not. It takes a long time to get into a niche to do that. And I'm going to show you guys what it takes to really pull that off. So before you get to the replenishables and the wholesale distributor relationships, another thing with these wholesale distributors before we move on is it's a race to the bottom. Everyone can get these little Chinese charms by just figuring out where it is. You could do a reverse image search and find out eventually who is selling it. It's a race to the bottom once everybody has it, right? Versus if you're the only one, I'm the person setting the price. So that's like the best. This is second best when you don't have to do as much listing. You can just list one item and reorder it when it sells out, but it will eventually sell out. So you need to get these relationships on point so you can keep reordering different kinds of things. So this is the first version and the most desirable in my opinion, but it's sort of the opposite of the third method that people love to do, which is the treasure hunt store. Okay, the treasure hunt store is when you just go out shopping for random things. This is everyone's favorite store. You know, somebody said that the opposite of music is business. That's how I look at this. Like the opposite of just looking for things for fun would be just picking one thing and figuring out how to get it directly from the person who makes it, right? So this is the more fun version. I broke it down because a lot of people want to do this. And when you're just getting started, you may not want to invest 10 months into one item. You might just want to go thrifting and sell stuff in your closet. So let me give you guys an idea of the difference of this. So let's say you were to sell $110 profit items. This is how most people do it that I have met to do this full time. They spend 20 hours finding stuff and they go home and then 20 hours of listing and shipping and etc. As you get better at shopping though, your stuff starts to go higher. So now instead of $110 profit items, you want $50, $20 profit items. That's going to save you a ton of time because now you're only doing 10 hours of listing. But since those are harder to find, you might spend 30 hours of hunting. Now here, I want you guys to notice something. It's always going to be about 5 listings per hour. So you can see here, 100 items is 20 hours. Down at the bottom, if you're really an expert in shopping, every single item you buy is $100 profit, then it's only 2 hours of listing. Now here's the variable that can change, which is right here on the right, which is how long does it take you to actually source these items. That's going to depend on how talented you are at finding stuff, sourcing items. Now that's not super easy and it takes time to learn, but I want to just point out that the actual listing, processing, shipping part is about the same. Whether you're selling a $10,000 item or a $50 item, it's not that much different. You know, you're going to have to research it, find out how much it's worth, etc. So that's pretty straightforward. But the hunting part, now you can even outsource that. You can hire people to go treasure hunting for you, which is more exciting to me because I would rather be at home relaxing than out there hunting for random goods and potentially not finding anything. Now, if I were to go to like a thrift store or a garage sale, yes, it's fun, but I want to search for treasure for fun. I don't want to do this for a living. It stresses me out thinking about having to do 20 hours of shopping and having to come home with 100 pieces of inventory. That scares me. And not knowing what category means it will take a really long time. So I encourage you guys to do something in the middle, which is number 2, okay? It is the categorical store. So this is where most people that I meet make a full-time living. It's a little bit more stable. And what you do is you pick a couple of categories to focus in. So for me, it's shoes. If I were going to pick a second category, it would be electronics like phones, computers, etc. Also, you know, to be honest, I might actually pick clothing as a category to focus on because there's just so much of it. So if I were going to do clothing, I would do liquidation or closeout. Try to get a lot of good new stuff in my store. And what this is it's going to help you purchase in bulk. So then you're going to spend a lot less time shopping and you can just start, you know, listing and building relationships with people. Now, here's the thing that's really important to focus on. So again, please smash the like button. Consider subscribing if you find this information useful. And just keep in mind that once you pick a category, this becomes way easier because you start to learn, okay, these shoes are easy to ship in these polymailers. You guys know that I hate using tape. The only reason I use tape on this box is because it's a heavier box and I wanted to reinforce the seam. But the rest of the packages today, I didn't use any tape, which makes me happy. It seems like there's always the one that screws up my not wanting to use any tape methodology because it takes time to put tape on a package and I want to save that time to do something else. But my point is, once you start focusing on a category, you start to find ways to save time. You start to find suppliers that can get you goods. You guys know that, you know, one of my suppliers gives me brand new Merrells. So I was able to buy, I think, 2,000 pairs from the same person. But that wouldn't have happened if I didn't focus on one category of shoes because I never would have met this person. You start to ask, who sells Merrell? Who sells Nike? And Nike is a great example because in order to get these marathon style shoes, guess what? You have to be a Nike running shop. This is the only type of store that can get this kind of marathon shoe. These shoes retail for $250. They're sold out everywhere. I picked this up on Poshmark, which is becoming one of my favorite places to source items because sellers are so desperate to get rid of inventory. I think I bought that pair for $120 and should sell for $300. So once you start focusing in on a category, whether it be phones or shoes, you start to notice these little things that help you get more items. Now, you may pick closeout or liquidation or recycling or salvage, and those are also bulk buys, liquidation.com, bulk.com. And those items are going to come in bulk and you're going to be able to list them. And in my opinion, you need to do a really, really good job of sorting the items. And that's going to come down to which items are you going to donate? Which items are you going to list? Which items are you going to discard? Some items are not even worth donating. And, you know, depending on what type of item it is, you might be able to get a slight write-off for actually donating some different items. So again, I just want to summarize for you guys, this is pretty much what resellers do. If you want to open an online store, it's the same. Either you're going to focus on a category, because no one wants to shop at everything store. It's confusing, but people love shopping at AmazingRunningshoes.com for specific running shoes, right? So I want you guys to mix. Categories is going to help you streamline and make your store better. If you're going to do a little treasure hunting, go for it. I love treasure hunting myself. I just don't want to do it for a living. I want to treasure hunt for fun. Like, if I were a musician, I wouldn't want to spend 90% of my time marketing my song. I would want to actually be playing music. So, most of my friends are teachers or musicians and do not care about business at all. That's why I think that business is the opposite of music. It's like the opposite of fun for them. They hate it. So, but for me, business is kind of like music, because I'm looking for different ways to sell things to different people. And I consider sales the transfer of enthusiasm from one person to the next. So that's just me. And hopefully, if you guys eventually want to do the replenishable game, hopefully I've encouraged you to think about this a little bit. It takes a long time, so don't be a super impatient person and think that this is an overnight process. It's not. It takes a while to really get good at one SKU or one thing. And I can tell you that this specific package right here is in the crafts category. So I love selling craft stuff. I think it's on fire right now, especially because people have to be at home. So this item, I think, will not sell as well once the situation we are in is over, because right now I feel like just a ton of people are at home. So you have to adapt. Reselling is a moving target. Things like this Chinese New Year charm, probably not going to sell well during Hanukkah, right? It's probably a Chinese New Year thing. So when I was able to pick this up, that store locally that distributes these types of items doesn't carry this type of item right now because it's not in season. They're going to pick it up in December, January, before Chinese New Year at the end of January, right? So it was $8. I sold this for $25 to give you guys an idea of what kind of margins can be had. You can still double your money on this. The problem is, if this actually were to start selling like crazy, somebody's going to come in there and sell for $13 shipped, because this is a first class. And they're going to, make $1 on it and be satisfied with that, when I wanted to double my money. So again, it depends on, it is a race to the bottom if you're going to do that. That's why people don't like flipping stuff at Walmart or Target clearance. And guys, I hate waiting in line at Walmart to buy something. I wish I didn't have to go into that store ever, really. It's not the best buying experience. So again, I think it's a mixture of all these different types of stores, because you got to be happy. You got to have, the sense of adventure, going out and finding cool things, but then you also want the stability of eventually working with the manufacturer directly. So hopefully, guys, that was useful. Now to plug myself a little bit, please support my channel. My blog is ad-free. Also, my podcast is ad-free if you guys don't want to watch commercials on YouTube. And that's at dailyrefinement.com. You can check that out. I also have a reseller field guide for $35 that goes over my systems. It's going to get a hardcore overhaul in the next few weeks because I have a little bit more time. I am just in the process of hiring 2 more people to work here. It's a little bit funky because of the current situation we're in, but once they're hired, I will be updating that guide like crazy. So help me out. It's $35 with code YouTube. I think it's super worth the money, and I'll refund you if for some reason you don't think it's useful, but it's fairly inexpensive. Consider it a thank you product for me making these videos for you guys. Also, I have one-on-one consulting if you guys want to schedule a call. I'm excited to talk to different people about building their stores. I'm pretty passionate about helping you build a store. So have consulting. I have my field guide. I also have my mastermind call. We meet 30 times a month. Live. You can ask me questions. Oh, also, best part, sorry for not mentioning this earlier in the video. I am going to go over in the private calls examples of all this stuff, including me building a replenishable from scratch. I think it'll take me 90 days. I don't know if it'll make me $100 a day profit, but I can find something that sells every single day in 90 days, no problem. So I'm going to start from scratch in the group, show you guys how I do it. And that group is $125 a year. It's ridiculously inexpensive. Get around like-minded people who want you to succeed. Drop all the crappy people in your life that are time vampires that want to hang out and do nothing productive. Just basically tell those people you're working on an important project, and then you'll get back to them never. Okay, just be honest with them and say it's really important for you to set up this store so that you can have some freedom. So guys, appreciate your time. Smash the like button, support my channel. I'll talk to you guys on the next show. Take care. Peace.